Good afternoon, thank you for watching, it is appreciated as always. Consider liking and subscribing if you find value in this video, it does help the channel out a lot. 2-tier Keir, 3-tier Keir, the Starmer boss is the most unpopular Prime Minister since records began. We all know this, it's not a newsflash, but it bears repeating because he is hated by his party, he is hated by the legacy media, he is hated by the new media, he is hated by me, and I'm sure he's hated by you. There's a debate that's going to happen in Parliament next week on Monday the 12th of January at 4:30 regarding a petition calling for a media general election. Britain is Broken is asserting that Starmer is finished. I certainly think he's going to go. I think it's going to be the May elections if he lasts that long. And then we get on to what Basil says here. A debate to go ahead in Parliament over a petition to hold a general election. The debate is Monday. It follows 1 million people, or over 1 million people, signing a petition calling for a general election for a third time. This government will stand. Starmer is finished. I'm one of the signatories, by the way. I'm one of the signatories. I'm one of these 1,059,000 people that have signed a petition to call for an immediate general election. The government is going to do another U-turn. It's pretty clear that this government doesn't believe in anything, but let's just refresh our memory on some of the U-turns they've done. Winter fuel payments. Cuts and means tested only, affecting millions of pensioners, then largely reversed after a public backlash, restoring most of it for people with incomes of under 35k. Farmers' inheritance tax. Imposed 20% tax on agricultural estates over 1 million, the family farm tax. Softening after tractor protests and rural MPs' pressure. Threshold raised to 2.5 million. The grooming gang inquiry, which has gone silent, and the safeguarding minister Jess Phillips needs to go. Starmer dismissed calls for a national inquiry as far-right bandwagon stuff, and then announced it would go ahead after public and political pressure and it being highlighted by Elon Musk. Welfare benefit payments, PIP and disability cuts. The planned big state savings via tougher rules on personal independence payments and universal credit watered down massively after a huge backlash and backbench rebellion. Essentially, it's left-leaning MPs, so we can't even get the most basic of welfare cuts through. Changes will apply only to new claimants. 2-child benefit cap, vows to keep it, even suspended rebel MPs and then scrapped it in November 25 budget as a child poverty measure. Of course, the illegals and the legal migrants who have more babies than British people will be disproportionately protected with this change. So obviously he's protecting his voter base there. Then finally, pub rates business relief. This is recent, this is this week. Plans to scrap or heavily cut relief for hospitality sector, threatening pub closures, which is what they want to do. They want to destroy the British industry and the British way of life. Now set for emergency U-turn with a rescue package amid fury from MPs and the industry. I want to focus on this slightly. Alright? This is basically the pubs were given additional relief during COVID and the business rates were effectively reduced. I think business rates should go, or there should be some equalisation with online businesses and bricks and mortar businesses, because at the moment, even though pubs can't be online, people who sell alcohol online don't have to pay rates, and just like Amazon, they don't have to pay rates on their revenues. However, HMV, that sells videos and DVDs, they do. So there needs to be some sort of equalisation there. The COVID relief cut, essentially, they were looking to reverse that and phase it out. And now they're looking to U-turn on that as well because it's going to send all the pubs under. Ministers are expected to U-turn on increasing business rates for pubs, with a package of support to be announced in the coming days, ITV News understands. Struggling pubs and hospitality officials have been piling on pressures to the government to re-examine the impending rise announced in the Chancellor's November budget, with many saying their costs will rise by tens of thousands of pounds a year, forcing many to close. Sources tell ITV News that the Treasury has been working on a package of support over the Christmas break after the pub owners got in touch explaining how the changes would impact their individual businesses. Treasury Secretary Dan Tomlinson is understood to be working on the proposals, and officials say there will be an announcement in the coming days that specifically targets pubs. Is there anything that this government will not U-turn on? Is there anything that this government can actually stand by? It's clear when socialists ever get in, they haven't got a clue how to run an economy or how to run a business. And if you look at the Labour front bench, none of them have got real life business experience. But back to this debate in Parliament that's going to happen next week. It's good, and I'm glad it's happening because people will see, and the MPs will be talking about just how hated the government is and how hated Keir Starmer is. My personal view is that they are going to go with an early general election, but it's not going to be on the basis of this petition. And there's a simple reason for that. And the simple reason is, yes, over 1 million people signed that petition, but look at the general election figures. Over nearly 10 million people voted for this government, so that's only a tenth of the votes that voted Labour in. So whilst it's good and it's a step in the right direction, it's not going to force an election. Back to the point of the early election. They will go early. It will be under a new leader. It won't be under Keir Starmer. My opinion is they're going to go early and they're going to plead forgiveness. They're going to say, listen, we haven't got Scooby-Doo what we're doing. Please forgive us. It's not going to work. Reform are going to get in. That much is clear. What form this reform government takes is another matter that is to play for. And you also need to factor in that Advance UK, the new kid on the block with Ben Habib, they're not a major political force yet, but they are growing, and I'm going to plug them slightly as well. As I've said on the channel previously, they are the emergency lifeboat if Reform UK goes tits up. Always good to have contingencies, always good to have backups. Some people think Nigel isn't hardline enough. Some people think Ben Habib is not hardline enough. And then you've got people even further to the right who think Ben Habib should be deported. Your mileage may vary on any of these points. I'm not going to tell you how to vote. That's really up to you. Do you think I'm right? Do you think there is going to be an early election? And do you think they are going to try and plead forgiveness under a new leader? Do you think the Ginger Growler, Angela Rayner, is going to come back? Do you think that Ben Habib has a shot in hell of getting into Parliament? Inquiring minds need to know. Like, comment, subscribe, do all of that great stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. You have a good day, and thank you for watching as always.